they teach you how to cope with your problems. They don't teach you how to fix your problems. They don't teach you how to heal. Just about anything made in a lab is poison. I was 21 years old, moving about $10,000 worth a week. That's 94.9% pure P2P. But the stuff on Breaking Bad was 96%. And people started coming over. Someone called me the devil. Someone called me God, because that stuff was so powerful. And so I started preaching to people. Everybody come over. You're not going to call me the devil. Even though I wasn't doing right, man, I started preaching to them.
Yeah.
The violence in my young age taught me a huge lesson. It taught me how valuable life was and how fragile life is. So I said, let me go back and do this one more time. And let me tell you about that one more time, man. That one more time is what gets you every
That's
time.
when you get caught.
That's the one that got you. But I hated the world then, man. Your purpose is to help others through your worst problems that you've had in life. The concrete brain that I prayed for God my whole life, it's removed. It's gone. Never coming back. There's two sides to this life. There's a 3D side or a physical side and a spiritual side. They don't want, the powers that be don't want you to know about your spiritual side, because it unveils truth. And I started actually connecting and hearing with God, man, talking with him. And he opened my eyes up that night, dude. He's like, he told me to love myself.
How God gets his glory, within that last hour, he comes through for you. That's how he gets his glory. So,
And that's the whole key, man, is bring everybody back closer to God, create harmony on this earth, create heaven on this earth. And that's what I'm doing. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. This is what Jesus talked about. We are love. God is love. I am love. Jesus is love.
Yeah.
God is love. I can imagine a lot of dads out there right now. And, we all make mistakes, but probably deserve to have their kids take it from them.
Welcome to another episode of the Words of Encouragement podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Made Different. Today I got a special guest with me that I'll be interviewing. But before I get to that, please remember to like, subscribe, and share and comment on the video, man. We need your engagement to grow this channel. So please comment and like and share it to somebody that you care about. So today's guest is a man who's rebuilt himself from the inside out. Not through shortcuts, not through hype, but through real inner work and real self-love. He's the founder of Supreme Health, and his mission is simple but powerful. Help people learn to love life so deeply that love literally radiates from their body. He has lived the questions most people are afraid to ask. Where does self-love begin? How do you heal from the inside? What does it mean to take care of your body and your spirit at the same time? He spent years searching for answers, and now he teaches what he found. Self-love starts with what you feel, with what you feed yourself, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Through his work, he guides people into healing, peace, and a healthier relationship with themselves. And the man speaks from experience, not theory. His life is the testimony. Please help me welcome my guest today, Jason Weatherford. Man, Jason, how you doing, man?
Great. How you doing, Frankie?
I'm doing good. I'm blessed, man. So tell the people a little bit about yourself, where you're from, your upbringing.
All right. So I was born in Beaumont, Texas, 1978. At 10 months old, I was taken from my mother. And then by 6 years old, my grandparents took me and my brothers away from the city up to the country. We moved up on Lake Sam Rayburn for about 7 years. We were going through the woods hunting 410s at 7, 8, 9 years old. It was okay. It was different. We were 30 miles from the nearest school, nearest town, but it was a lot. I was a great kid, man. The teacher would have to tell me to quit putting my hand up in class to let other kids answer questions. And then around 11 years old, I was very bright, man. Around 11 years old, my grandparents or somebody gave my grandparents 2 bottles of red and white fluoride to bring home to give to me, and told me to use it every day. So within a year to a year and a half after that, I went from the top student in my class pretty much to 30s and 40s in grades, literally getting my backside beat, being called stupid, retarded, any name you could think of pretty much, because it was my fault that I fell off like that. It was very difficult. My grandparents did the best they could with what they had, though. They were very good people. After that, 7th grade, I think, my dad came up to my grandparents and they wanted me to move down back to the city with him. And they knew that it was a bad thing. They knew it wouldn't have been good for me. And it made my life very difficult, having my grandparents on one side crying and my dad on the other side. And they're both offering me gifts to stay with them, you
Yeah.
know. But I decided to go on back to the city. I'd already been messing around with alcohol and stuff a little bit. But when I got down to the city, it wasn't long before, I'm not going to say how people close to me, but people were giving me acid, hypnols. This is 15 years old.
Wow.
Marijuana, alcohol. Within a year of that, probably 16, I was getting taking ecstasy a lot, man. I was very damaged.
Listen, you don't always need answers. Sometimes you just need to be held up in prayer. This is a space for people who are doing the best even when it feels unseen. For the ones who are tired, hopeful, uncertain, faithful, and human, all at the same time. We come together simply to pray and encourage one another. No fixing, no spotlight, no pressure to explain your story. Just a quiet reminder that you are seen, heard, and not forgotten by. If life feels heavier than usual, you don't have to walk through it by yourself. You're welcome to join our prayer group. Just comment prayer, send a DM, or use the link provided when you're ready. Peace.
The reason for the usage of it, now in hindsight, was it made me feel that person that I was before the fluoride. When I took the drugs, it made me feel that confident kid I was before my brain was damaged, before I was
Yeah.
poisoned and calcification of the brain. Um,
Yeah.
So I just kept chasing that because that's all I've ever wanted. I didn't know what happened at the time, but I know that everything was fine. Then all of a sudden one day, like at school, I was getting sick once or twice a month. I went from being a great, perfect communication to could take everything in, but I couldn't say what I wanted to
Mm.
say. This is the
Yeah.
damages of fluoride. This was what it does to people. And it got bad, because I thought I'd be crying in school all the time. So when I took that first half hit acid, wow, I feel myself again,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying it's okay to do things like this. I'm just saying that now I have a better understanding of why people do take drugs and stuff like that. I'm 95% sure that it leads back to the fact that it brings them back to who they truly are for a moment, before it turns
Yeah.
into the addiction.
Yeah.
Because eventually it's going to, like any other drug they give us in the United States, eventually it's not going to work. That's how you can tell the difference between something that's good for you and something that's bad for you. Something's good for you will continue to work and continue to keep you feeling fine without having to take more and more of it. Something
Yeah.
that's poison for your body and bad for you is like the medication.
That you feel that tolerance.
Any medication you get from the doctors, pretty much 90% of it, all that lab created bull crap, just about anything made in a lab is poison. But anything that you have to take and it slowly loses its effects on you, and you have to take more and more and more, is no good for the body. I say this, like rehabs or all that crap, man. They teach you how to cope with your problems. They don't teach you how to fix your problems. They don't teach
Mm.
you how to heal because
Say that again. Say that again. Say that again, man.
I brought awareness to this. I went to a facility that I actually tried out for a little bit before I knew what I knew. And I was telling these people this, and he's like, they did not want to hear it. They knew I think they're kind of aware of this, but they didn't want, that's their job. So you care
Yeah.
about you know what? I've had to start over 100 times. You care about your job more than you care about a human, a person. You know what? I've had to start over 1,000 times. You doctors and nurses and rehabilitation people can start over too. That's the way I look at it. It's all, life needs to have more importance to people. Anyway, so that was my teenage years. Some of it was a lot of drinking and drugging and fighting all the time. I mean, we got to a point where one time, me and this dude that I thought was a real good friend of mine, and he ended up putting knives in my back pretty much. We got to where we couldn't even go. We wouldn't even get invited to parties, man. We go to these parties. As soon as we walk in the door, everybody take off. We were fighting all the time. And it's just a coping method, being unhappy with
Wow.
yourself.
Yeah.
So around 17, I was hot, heavy off on the drinking and doing things I shouldn't. These people had problems with my friend that I was there with, and they ended up busting all the windows out of my vehicle. And right before my dad left, he said, they have your big vehicle, it's your ass. You can beat my ass when I got back. So I went and got a 9mm, and my brother grabbed it. So I went back on a 22, an old German 22 pistol with a 16 shot clip. And I went by the apartment complex, and I remember Coolio Shadow of Death came on. It was blasting glass all in my 15s in the back of my Bronco. They came running out of the apartments, and I unloaded pretty much 16 shots at them. Thank God, by the grace of God, I didn't hit nobody, and I'm friends with those people today still. But that got my first charge, put me in jail at 17 years old. And then, let's see, about a year later, I revoked my probation, and I got 2 more aggravated assaults with a deadly weapon. And I had to go to a place called Jefferson County Boot Camp. That was pretty rough because I'd never been around many black people before. And I went in this place, and there was 85 black people and 4 or 5 white people. And these people are pretty hardcore, man. They're the Beaumont Port Arthur area, and especially the age group of 16 to 21, it was pretty rough in their time, man. Yeah. I beat the brakes off a couple of them, but I also got cheap shot in the back and the side of the head a couple times too. But it was a lot of life lessons learned in there. Our Marine drill instructor was tough, man, and we had to go through that for almost a year. It was pretty tough, but I hated the world then, man. I was angry because when I got pulled over, I was a pretty smart young man, and I knew the law pretty well. When I got pulled over, here's the first. So I knew the change trick. I thought it worked. He said, I'm going to bring you to the courthouse or the jail. I'm going to give you a breathalyzer. If you pass, I'll bring you back. So I went to the back of his car, dude. I had a whole pocket full of change and stuff. I pulled my handcuffs on my feet, pulled all that money out of my pocket, put it in my mouth, and just suck on it all the way to the county. Hey, right before we get
Oh man.
right when we get there, I put it all back in my pockets.
Yeah.
How'd you get your hands in the front? Anyway, we get inside, and the guy's in there, and he's pulling all this money. I saw your money wet. I passed that breathalyzer, dude, a
Yeah.
.076. And I know
Wow.
when I'm
Wow. Wow.
doctoring over a half bottle of vodka and stuff, But it made me pass the breathalyzer. And I'm sitting there watching.
Yeah.
I watched it all .076, and he was mad. And all the time,
Because
I'm going,
he knew you was toasted.
he locked me up. And I didn't find out
Yeah.
until when I got out of boot camp, I was angry at the world because, I may have been in the wrong. I'm not denying that part. But by the law, which is what we always need to stand by, I passed that freaking breathalyzer, and I was mad at the world because of it. So in boot camp, I hooked up with these foreign people from another country, and we got talking in there, and And I got things set up for when I got out, and I went to a different level. I don't know what we can say on here and not say, but I'll get in trouble, excuse my mouth. I was 21 years old, moving about $10,000 worth a week, some 94.9% pure P2P. But the stuff on Breaking Bad was what, 96%. Let's put 95%, like as pure as it gets. I'm talking about a half fingernail, and you don't want to look at it for 12 hours. That's how powerful this stuff was, it made me into it really stretched my consciousness, because all of a sudden I had all these people, I'm innocent, not innocent, but I'm like naive to this kind of world, and all of a sudden I got all these people that were my friends 2 days ago, and all of a sudden now they're trying to steal from me and get over on me, and I got these 40, 50-year-old men coming over trying to run game. I was like, I started creating systems for myself. I created a risk factor. Any move I made counted I knocked as many 1 through 10 off that list as possible before I made a move for my own safety. And then it got so bad to the point where anybody came over to my house, I would get over there and I'd have a 15-minute conversation with them before I would even deal with them, because I had to get in their heart. I had to get on their level. So I learned to get people's psychology at 21 years old. And you know what I learned very quick, that if you get someone in their emotions, they can't lie to you. Because you know what I'm saying? So I would get these people and I'd get them in their heart real quick. And I don't know, there's a lot of life lessons I learned back then. I'm not saying I was right about anything, but it taught me a lot about people and how to deal with people. I always treated people good, no matter what. I showed them love, man. And people started coming over. Someone called me the devil. Someone called me God, because that stuff was so powerful. And so I started preaching to people. Everybody come over. You're not going to call me the devil. Even though I wasn't doing right, man, I started preaching to them.
Yeah.
So I messed around with that for about 3 years. A lot of crazy situations. And I quit. I was going to be done with it. And my first kid's mother called me up wanting money for child support. And it was Bush was president, I believe, at the time. And like, I was a felon already for aggravated assault. I couldn't get a job nowhere back then, man. Like, they were hard on felons back then. So I said, oh, let me go back and do this one more time. And let me tell you about that one more time, man. That one more time is what gets you every
That's when
time.
you get caught.
That's the one that got you. I did take a little bit of risk, but this person that was a friend of mine introduced me to this person, and my phone died and I needed to call my people to meet up with him. So I stopped by his house and was like, "Yeah, man, you let me use your phone or give me some quarters, and then I'll come back in a little bit and I'll make it right with you." Well, everything happened, and then I came back to his house and made it right. Like I told him, I knew at the time, see, I was smart with the law, dude. I knew without a warrant, they can't do nothing but a pat down on a roadside search. They're not allowed to do nothing but a pat down. So I had this stuff hidden down in my pants, because I knew that I wasn't doing anything wrong. And as soon as I left that guy's house, I got about 2 houses down and I seen the lights came on. He was waiting for me at the end of the road. So, and then he did a illegal search and seizure. He locked me up. I was 23-year-old kid. They had me in a room. They was like, we ain't never seen nothing like this in a long time. And yeah, he turned me away from his camera. His car was facing me. Turned me away from his camera, put his gloves on, went straight down my pants. So I was like, what are you doing? You can't do that. And then when my lawyer got the recording, he brought it to me and the audio was raced off of it. And he got up there and lied on the stand, said he thought he felt a pistol down my pants. You telling me a pistol's this big? He said he thought lied on the stand to the judge, a federal judge. But anyway, let me go back just a little bit. They brought me into a room, had like 15 dudes with masks. Come in there, start questioning me, I told them I'd help them out. But what I did is when they let me go, I went and got a job offshore on the oil rig and saved up for a lawyer. And then about a year later to the day, I come home with the oil rig. Um, a hurricane was coming in the Gulf, and they were made us evacuate. And when I got home, I sat on the couch, I was playing PlayStation. My little nephew came home from school. And he's like, "Hey, Uncle Jason, you got some friends outside I want to see." Okay, so I would expect, and I walked to the door, and there's 4 U.S. Marshals and a Groves Police Department.
Wow.
Yeah, it was wild, man. So, yeah, I got sent to, since I wouldn't tell anybody, they sent me to the federal penitentiary for 5.5 years. At the time, it was the largest gang unit in the United States. And let me tell you, man, I met some of the best people that I'm still friends with today that I've ever met in my life in there. And as a matter of fact, one of them passed away. I think it was yesterday or something. Um, God, God rest his soul, Denver, and he was a good person.
Yeah.
But
Oh, you lost, man.
yeah, so I got out of there in see like 2010, and I went in the halfway house. I got myself in immaculate shape before I got out. They called me WFO, wide freaking open in there, because I would do workout sports just all day, man, running for like an hour and a half. And I got out of there, and they put us in a halfway house, and I'd made my mind up then that I was just gonna, whatever job I got, I was just gonna work my ass off till I got to the top. And I noticed right after I got out, they keep you locked in a halfway house where you can't really run or anything like that. They did have weights, but you're losing your strength and your power and all that, man. You're losing your momentum that you had to go out into the world. But anyway, I met my kid's mother right after that. I was slipping up every once in a while, but not a whole lot. I was working my ass off.
Slipping up with what? What you mean slipping up?
I was getting high every once in a while, like not very often, but every once in a while I would mess up. But I was like going to work. I was doing the right thing, busting my ass, and I got my back started hurting from killing myself for these refineries. So I started getting pain pills and then taking testosterone and just stuff that I thought was right that would help me. And it
Yeah.
worked. I worked my way to the top, man. I worked my way to be a supervisor within a year and a half, and I just kept killing myself. And no matter how much I killed myself, they wouldn't let me get out of the field. And eventually it got to where my blood pressure was out of this world through the roof, hypertension, my back and my body would just spasm all the time. I chose a hard profession, building scaffolds, and it got really bad, man. And then I ended up getting burned really bad. So we moved from Texas to California, and the pain pill usage, the addiction, which is one of the most difficult things anybody will ever have to get off of, is the pain pills garbage, man. Let me tell you, they're trash. They're only a Band-Aid, cover up problems caused from having bad health. And bad health is caused from the used to be powers that be poisoning us through our food and water. We'll get to that here in a little bit. So I just knew something was wrong. I kept like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and my body's still breaking down, and I'm not getting ahead in life. Something's not right. I'm killing myself, and I should be getting ahead in life. They program us to go to this Masonic. You might want to erase that part out, or we might get cut off. To the powers that be way of life. The way they want us to be slaves, pretty much. Work our lives away and not have any life for our families. I tried that multiple times, man. I tried like, okay, so I'm supposed to get this job and work my way to the top and have a good life, right? Why is the good life part never coming?
Listen, you don't always need answers. Sometimes you just need to be held up in prayer. This is a space for people who are doing the best even when it feels unseen. For the ones who are tired, hopeful, uncertain, faithful, and human, all at the same time. We come together simply to pray and encourage one another. No fixing, no spotlight, no pressure to explain your story. Just a quiet reminder that you are seen, heard, and not forgotten by. If life feels heavier than usual, you don't have to walk through it by yourself. You're welcome to join our prayer group. Just comment prayer, send a DM, or use the link provided when you're ready. Peace.
So I would always go back and then not only that, the brain concrete from the fluoride crap that damaged me I'd be okay for a few days and it'd come right back. So then I'm chasing that feel normal again. So, back to using again, because that's the only thing that made me feel normal. Even if a problem, like if I were to do something other than pain pills, by the, a day or two afterwards, I would feel
Yeah.
brain clarity for 2 or 3 days, and then right back to the concrete brain, miserable life. And I didn't know. I begged, man. I prayed to God over and over. Show me what's wrong with me. Show me, show me. Well, me and my kid's mother ended up splitting up. And I had to go back to Texas. And I went to treatment. I got off pain pills on the way back from California. My vehicle, I had a 2010 Excursion with a V10 in it with a 6-inch lift, and the front drive shaft blew out in New Mexico. I picked my pain pill habit in a ghost town in a hotel room in New Mexico for 3 days when I was waiting on a train. So I get back there and I get a spot in that rehab I was telling you about. And I do good. They want to put you in the mental places and get you on medication. But I've already tried this stuff before. So I tried it again and it had me feeling okay for a little while, but they had to keep upping the dose, just like everything else. And 6 months after, or a year after I got out, my kid's mother, she already said you can come back after you get clean and get a job or whatever, do right, even though she wasn't clean. So, kept trying. And then after she told me that I could come back, would never see my kids again, even after I did everything right. Right at Thanksgiving, 2019, I went off the deep end. I said, I went way off the deep end, man. I wasn't never showing nothing but love to people. Don't get me wrong with that, but I started abusing myself as far as getting high and running the roads and doing stupid things, And I started noticing things wasn't right. Something wasn't right around there, man. Something was not normal. All these dope houses I'd go to, people were all acting weird, man, like they were actors in a movie. It was all staged, and I didn't understand, And I started noticing, and I started voicing my opinion. And the more I did that, the more I became a problem, because I'm like 95% sure that these thick satanic groups set all of these trap houses up, these houses with cameras to pick out their next victims. Because I don't know what we're allowed to say on here or not, but these people do this stuff. They'll let people out of jail. You have two choices. Either if they don't think you're worthy of joining them, they'll pick you out and they'll get a life insurance policies out on you. Multiple group members will get life insurance policies out on you. And well, I didn't know this at the time. I just knew some weird was going on. Then all of a sudden, I started noticing crazy things happening at my house. Like this was when the MK Ultra started. I mean, this was wild. I knew nobody would believe me. They just wanted to keep calling me crazy. You're crazy. This is not happening. And I knew I was in for the fight of my life, man. So I went to God. I said, God, said, my heart's pure. My intentions are pure. Why are you letting this happen to me? And he told me, he said, would you rather be somebody else? Because I've already experienced all of these spiritual battles that I fought these last 6 years. I'd already experienced it and fought them when I was 21 to 23, 24, well, my whole childhood pretty much. And I overcame a lot, man, like more than you could imagine with zero help. So when this started happening, I didn't know at the time why this was happening to me. It's recently come to light why that some things were supposed to be left to me. And the only way they would be able to get the things from me that were supposed to be left to me was to make me look crazy or to put me in prison or a mental institution. So these people grouped up with some secret societies to try to make this happen. And these people, the technology and the money they have is out of this world. And they made sure I didn't have a job. They made sure that I had nobody around. I mean, everybody got on the payroll. I ended up getting a second phone. No, actually, I did this with my own. The only phone thing I had was a cell phone, man. So I'm in my bedroom, and literally my bed just starts lifting up off the ground. Things just start moving across the floor. And now I'm trying to start telling people, "You're crazy, dude. You're crazy." I was like, you know what? That's when I went to God, and I was like, this is going to be a tough. I knew I was in over my head then, man. I started exposing things that were going on around the world that in my town and around the world that was not ever supposed to come to light. You know, they have technology. If they get enough nanotechnology in your body, they have technology to make you see what they want you to see, and they have technology to move things with sound from not even being around you. Like I'm telling you right now, I have recordings. The first way I got it, man, I was like, every time the bed would start lifting up, I grab my knife and jump, look under the bed, thinking somebody was there. And it's over and over. And I eventually, you know what? I got my phone. I put the headphones in there. I turned the light on, push record, and just dropped it. And I still have recordings of this. Okay. And every time my bed started moving, you start hearing this. It sounds like a jackhammer sound. But it wasn't. You can't hear it with your ears. You can only hear it with recording. So eventually, I got where I would just set my phone on the ground and push record. I watched the whole face of my bed move like foot and a half across the floor. I'd have my bed against this wall over here. Wake up in the morning and I'd be against this wall over here. And my pillows would be like wrapped around the doors of the dresser. I know you probably think some of this is crazy, but it's real 100%. I have video recordings of it, what they call MK Ultra. I'm telling you, the technology they have is out of this world. They didn't want you to know this. So anyway, this was at the beginning, 2019, the gang stalking, harassment, humiliation ritual. Man, their plans were evil, man. They guided me into situations, guided me into moving into houses, a certain house right next to well, I don't know. I'm not going to say a lot, but right next to certain people where they could put video cameras at my house and my phone. They thought that when they started their humiliation ritual, that it was going to prove that I'm a bad person, so they could do away with me. But it actually did the opposite. It gave my voice a voice. It gave me a way to reach other people and show the don't give up, don't quit, never quit. So about 2 to 3 years into this, it was a living hell, man. Out of this world living hell that I would never wish on anybody. But it brought my relationship closer to God. And I got to know myself. These people were pushing things on me, trying to give me things that I shouldn't be taking. You know what I mean? Like things
Yeah.
that they knew that I had a problem with them before. So they were like literally pushing this stuff on me over and over. And I started catching on, things were going on bad, man. Things happened. My cats died. A couple weeks after my cats died, I got really, really sick, real sick for about a month and a half. Like couldn't go 2 minutes without running to the bathroom sick right after my cats died of the same way, pretty much. And then one night, dude,
And they was trying to poison you?
yeah, my cat, 3 of them, they started like the same color poop, just running color of something you put in your car, until they all died. And then there wasn't 2 to 3 weeks later. Well, I went to this person's house, man. I was like, I told him, hey, man, my cats died. They got poisoned or something. And this person said this girl's name out loud, like he was pissed off, like that poison wasn't supposed to go to my cats. And 3 weeks later, that hit me, man. By the grace of God, I knew what my healing technique that I use is very, very powerful on the body. And that's probably what saved my life. Um, anyway, man, like these people, multiple times they try to get me, and I just wanted to learn. I just wanted to be myself, man. I healed myself around November of 2023. I started watching different doctors. Like I got fed up with the problem, man. I got fed up with the brain, concrete brain. It wasn't worth living. Having that kind of brain, knowing who you are, knowing yourself and what you are here wasn't worth living. I started researching probably hundreds of doctors. And I finally found two of them that had a huge impact on my life, man, that actually got to the root cause of the problem. And I studied them and started practicing two different techniques. One is a meditation internal technique, which it works in my opinion, but if you don't change your ways and change what you're putting in your body, it it's a lot harder to maintain. So then I found this other doctor and I started applying what I learned from this other doctor, which is a holistic doctor. And within 4 weeks, I woke up, man. Like I woke up, I was so alive. Like I hadn't felt like this since I was 8 or 9 years old, probably 10 years old. And I just started waking up, jumping, fist popping out of bed every morning. Thank you, God. Thank you. My life. You gave me my life back. Thank you. All praise, man. It's so amazing. Like this is how we're supposed to feel all day, every day, dude. Out of this world, I don't have a bad day. I haven't had a bad day. I mean, you have moments, a couple moments of little irritability, but I really haven't had a bad day in months. I wake up feeling like a child every day, man. I feel so full of energy and life, and I can do this for anybody. You know, um, so I kept practicing, and I realized I needed to get away from that area. All those people that really went after me, man. So I sold that house in April of this year, and I went on the road. And I currently live in a cargo van driving around the country. So there's a lot about my life, man, and I've been practicing my healing technique probably steady for close to a year now, and I've done nothing but ascended. My IQs went up probably 100 points. Fountain of youth, man, I'm freaking jacked. 47 years old and feel on top of the world.
Yeah.
I'll probably let it go at
360
that.
turnaround.
There is a lot more depths and a lot more stories in there, but I'm not going to just sit here and I want the purpose is to be uplifting, not
Yeah,
about.
no, it's a lot to unpack with that, man. Because I hear, you know, childhood was there a foundation of God in your childhood?
Yes, my grandparents, but you know, let me give you a little bit of insight. That the church, you know what I mean? It was forced on us pretty much to go, but I always knew since I was a kid. I just had this knowing that God had his hand on my shoulder. My whole life had just walked with me. And the church always rubbed me wrong for some reason. And now I have a better understanding of why, because there's more to it. They only show you the physical side of God in life. There's two sides to this life. There's a 3D side or a physical side and a spiritual side. They don't want the powers that be don't want you to know about your spiritual side because
Spiritual side.
it unveils truth. You have to face yourself, and once you get in your spiritual journey, you can tell when you're being lied to or bullshitted or cheated, and the powers that be,
Discernment.
they don't want you to be able to tell that. So that's the reason for the fluoride and the chlorine and all the poisons to keep you in your 3D side. They don't want you in your physical side. They don't want you connecting with your spiritual side. And to not connect with your spiritual side is to not connect with half of yourself. The most
Yeah.
important half of yourself, the half that connects with God. me tell you this what happened to me, man.
Because God is all spirit, and we're made in His image.
Hey,
So
get this, brother.
you know,
So they tried to get me one night. One time they brought a whole bag of shrooms over to me. And I've only tried them one time. I ate a lot of acid in my life, not shrooms. He was a big old fucking Ziploc bag, dude, like half full. The hairs are no good. Just keep eating, eating. And I did. I wasn't thinking, I thought this dude was my friend this time. Hey, I got to a point where I couldn't see nothing but lines and numbers in front of my eyes. I made my way back home from this person's house. And I just start pounding watermelon stuff, tea, and I go sit on my bed and eyes open or closed, I couldn't see nothing but lines, Um, and I look up to the cross on my wall. Instantly, when I see the cross, completely sobered up. It went away. Everything just went away. And I start hearing, actually connecting and hearing with God, man, talking with him. And he opened my eyes up that night, dude. He's like, he told me to love myself. And I got angry with myself for a second. I said, I can't believe I've been tolerating and putting up with all this crap from these people, man, intentionally trying to destroy my life. You know what? I've been through hell, man. Let me tell you, I got some gang wars in prison. I beat the brakes off some people. Boot camp wasn't no punk, I did a lot of fighting and stuff when growing up. You know, the violence in my young age taught me a huge lesson. It taught me how valuable life was and how fragile life is, and I learned at a very young age, probably my late teenage years, that the true meaning of life is love and to understand people and to show them love and kindness. And I'm not showing you kindness and love because I'm trying to kiss your ass. And that's what these people took it. They took my soft
yeah,
kindness and love as that I was trying to fit in and kiss their ass. No, I've been in bad places that would destroy you. I've done things and put things things would destroy your life, that you would not be a mental institution for the rest of your life. I don't want you to go through that. So I'm trying to guide you back in the right direction. Well, these people took it as weakness, kind of irritating. God woke me up to that night. So I go back next door for a minute right after that. And on my way home, I'm in my driveway and I already had this. And get this. So these people were trying to get me gone. So they had the feds watching me, trying to tell them I was a bad person, trying to set me up to do things, to get me bad. And they all know these gang stalkers watch me. This stuff's on video and stuff, I'm sure. So I'm walking home my driveway and I catch something out of the corner of my eye. And I turn around and look up right before spirit comes into my body. So this was the most amazing experience of my life. I did not want to come back. I'm standing in my driveway when it hits me. When it comes into me, the 1,000 pictures start going right in front of my forehead. But people say when they die, well, I've experienced this. The 1,000 pictures, he showed me like the last 5 years of my life. He said, you see all these people? You've helped every one of them. You showed them love and kindness, and you took some pain from each and every one of them. And then right after that, she took me out of my body straight up to the top and showed me everything in a quick glimpse, from a long ways back, time all the way up to the top of the firmament or whatever it is. And it was amazing, dude. It was the best feeling in the world. Being with God, being with creation is there's not a better. I've done everything on this planet pretty much, and there's not a better feeling in this world than when you're with Him. And He told me I was His son. He told me I was a king. He told me we need to quit poisoning our people, and we need to get rid of the people, the powers that be need to be taken down or whatever. Get out of control, and that's exactly what's happened. It's happening right now. Um, it was amazing, dude. So after something happened, I snapped out of it, and this was right before Thanksgiving. So 2 days later, I think the people that I'm pretty sure the FBI, people across the street that also are with the groups that were harassing me, they come over. First, the people that were next door come over with plates of food, like 3 plates of each, wanting to hug my neck, wanting to give me love, man. And then they moved out like 2 days later after that happened. Like it was pretty freaking amazing, man. Like hands down, I'm his child. I'm here to make an impact on this world. I'm here to restore people to their natural being, to their natural health. We were not, if our God's perfect, we don't need needles in our leg when we come out of our mothers. We don't need poison in our body. So you're telling me that he's perfect, but we're not perfect? We're supposed to be perfect. We're born into sin because the toxicity in our parents' blood when we're born, and because of the poisons they put in us the minute we're born to dull our senses, to calcify our bodies and brains. These things are about to change really well. Uh, I can probably restore just about anybody's health, and not only that, once they're completely healed, because I had arthritis so bad I could barely open my fingers. I had nerve damage in my back. They approved me for disability in 2019. The brain damage, the concrete brain that I prayed for God my whole life, yeah, it's removed. It's gone. Never coming back. And I feel like a freaking teenager, pretty much, as far as energetically and healthy and happy and every day. And I'm 47 years old. So there's a little bit about myself, man.
That's deep, man. That's
Give your
that's
life to
that's a
God,
powerful
man. Like
powerful story, man.
I help everybody get into their purpose, brother. Here's the deal. You heal, and then your purpose will come to you. We'll get you healed up is what we'll do. And once you're healed, or mostly healed, because you don't want to start serving your purpose, which your purpose is to help others through your worst problems that you've had in life. Okay, so where you were damaged in your life, somewhere along the way, went through some really hardship, and once you get you healed up over that, and you made it through it, you can help others make it through that same thing.
Somebody else.
You help others make it through that same, because there's people out there that are struggling from what you went through, and we want to help get you right so you can help those people get to where you're at as you ascend
Yeah.
and do better.
I share sentiment with your story because I smoked weed for a lot of years of my life, and for me personally, I started doing other drugs, Molly, like you said, ecstasy, um, coke. I started doing a lot of different things. So, um, and it wasn't I wouldn't say I was addicted to it, but I felt that euphoric, like you said, that euphoric feeling, like you feel more confident, you feel more, you
You're
know,
supposed to feel.
closer to yourself. It's like you feel the mushrooms, all these things that I tried.
Let me tell
So
you,
I understand why people do these things.
Listen, you don't always need answers. Sometimes you just need to be held up in prayer. This is a space for people who are doing the best even when it feels unseen. For the ones who are tired, hopeful, uncertain, faithful, and human, all at the same time. We come together simply to pray and encourage one another. No fixing, no spotlight, no pressure to explain your story. Just a quiet reminder that you are seen, heard, and not forgotten by. If life feels heavier than usual, you don't have to walk through it by yourself. You're welcome to join our prayer group. Just comment prayer, send a DM, or use the link provided when you're ready. Peace.
Another subject I'd like to get into is, man, I didn't meditate. What did you, the first time people told you to meditate, what did you think? You know, did you have any idea what you were doing or getting into it, or do you ever do it?
Me- Meditation. I don't really practice too much meditation. I do sit in silence at a lot of times.
Well,
Um,
meditation. What
but
about that?
you say
Because
what?
when you meditate, really see, people don't understand. So, what is meditate? Okay, you want me to just sit here with my eyes closed and or whatever, in a peace, which it does can calm your nerves down. Good Joe Dispenza tell you to sit. It's good to sit, which it is, quiet, and tell your body to sit down and shut the fuck up. You know, let your mind gain control over your body, and it's good for you. But people don't tell you like meditate. Okay, what meditate, in my opinion, is getting to that peaceful place and creating your future life in your mind while you're in that place.
Visualizing it.
Visualizing is manifestation. not only creating it, but believing it. Believing what you're creating in your mind while you're in a meditative state or while you're calm and at peace. And another thing, which took me forever to learn, they always tell you, oh, you need to do this. Okay. Then they say, you need to love yourself. You need to self-love. You need to pour in you need to, what do you mean? So I've dissected this down as far as I can. It's what I believe.
Yeah. What does self-love look like for you?
What self-love looks like for me and what I believe from now that I've been through the depths of hell and as far as you can go, in every direction. And I'm pretty freaking sharp mentally, self-love is pouring, uh, healthy things into yourself, exercising. That's to me, this is building your confidence up, healing your body, internal is self-love, your brain, your from all the toxins we put in our body our whole life. And I'm not talking about drugs. I'm talking about through food and water and alcohol and not even alcohol so much, but the toxins, fluoride and all that crap. We were very damaged from the vaccines and stuff. We don't realize it, but we are extremely damaged. I've been practicing my healing technique for, like I said, for over a year now. And like, I'm still ascending. I'm still healing, growing smarter, stronger, younger. I don't know if ever I'll stop like realizing how freaking badass I am, be honest with you, dude, because, and the confidence is key to life. When you have max confidence, which I can do for just about anybody, probably, you have no desire to do anything but be gentle and loving and caring to other people. There comes in to love thy neighbor as thyself. If you're not healed and you're not confident and healthy and happy, you're pouring toxicity and toxic love to other people.
Yeah.
Unknowingly or unintentionally, you got the right heart. You have the right meaning, but you're not the best. You're not like giving the proper love to these people. You're not showing them the best way for anything is lead by example. Okay. When you're healed, healthy, and happy, and you're loving yourself and exercising, you're going to have some haters, but you're going to have some people inspired by you wanting to do the same thing. What happens then? It's a chain reaction. Constantly, more and more people becoming better, healthier, happier, lovable, confident people. The lack of confidence destroys lives, man. It like completely destroys lives. Confident, happy, helping, self-love. You just pour love into everybody you come across. And they see that, they get inspired, and they want to do the same thing. And like I said, it's like a domino effect. The more and more, the more we can do this too, the better our world becomes. And when you live on the frequency that I live on, this love frequency that I show love to everybody I see. Can you imagine if the whole world was like this? That's how we're supposed to be. That's how God created us to be. We're supposed to be like this. And when we get enough people like this, we're going to spread this love to the world, man. And like, we're just all going to live in harmony. It's going to be so amazing. Because we're not black, we're not white, we're not Mexican, we're not any of that. We're human. We're the spirit inside this vessel that we're living in. Okay? We're all one. We are all one.
I agree 100%, brother. I agree 100%.
We don't just, okay, put me down here in a white body. Put me down here in a black body. Did we
I
have
think
that
it's
choice?
all division,
Did we have that
it all
choice?
creates a little bit of division.
How are you going to hate somebody for what body their soul's in? How are you going to hate anybody for that? It's ignorance. Racism is the utmost ignorance. I hope you put that on this freaking show, man, because it is. Racism equals ignorance. If you hate somebody because of their color, you're stuck in a mentality of a child, is what you are. You need to get a lot of healing. You need a lot of help.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for letting me share, man. I've been needing this. I've been wanting to do this myself, but what's fun talking to yourself? You know what I mean? To me, it's not fun.
Nah, I got you, man. I'm glad to have you here, brother.
Yeah, man. I'm
What's
sharing a lot of knowledge with you and others.
Yeah, if someone feels empty right now, what's the first step towards wholeness they should take, in your opinion?
If someone feels empty right now, and this first step toward wholeness, think back. Okay. This is brilliant. The most brilliant advice. I come up with this, and I'm not bragging. Okay. This took me, this is what saved me in my hardest times. Okay. And I'm going to tell you, like, people need to hear this. Think back to when you were your best self. I don't care if it was in high school. I don't care if when you were a kid. I don't care what age it was, to when you were your best self. Okay. Think what it took to get to that. Start taking steps that you took back then to get to that person. Even if it was in school, you had to run track or a little bit of exercise in school, and you felt your best. Remember what it took to get to that best version of yourself. I want you to remember that, and I want you to start taking steps. And you don't have to do exactly and go as hard as you did back then because you were young. Just take small steps. So if it was running, go to the block, jog 30 yards, stop, walk for 30 feet, 30 yards, jog 30 more yards, and stop and walk for 30 yards. Just to start building yourself back up. You don't have to you try to keep running them first few times, you're going to break your confidence, oh, that's too much, too tired. If you go out there and you run 30 yards and you walk 30 yards, it's all a mind game. Everything is a mind game. Trick yourself
Now,
into beating yourself.
I would say this. I would say this. Some people, you have some people who do think that their best self was when they were in the clubs, drinking, smoking, and popping all types of pills and stuff. So people they have
They need
people
to be honest with
that
themselves.
think that's the best version of themselves
No,
was when
that
they were
that the
doing
best
that.
version of
You
yourself
know,
is what they did to make themselves have that much confidence for when they got to the club, not in drugs, because most people were in pretty good health and stuff. If they're going out there feeling, you know what I'm saying? They're all confident, got the girls looking at them and stuff, you know, more than likely they were doing something or were in a better state of mind in life before they went to the club. And you got to pour into yourself. Like I said, self-love, pour into yourself, start putting the proper things, delayed gratification, instant gratification. You want instant gratification? Go take poison, put testosterone in your body and all that shit. You want delayed gratification? Well, another version, instant gratification. Sugar, sweet food, quick, fast food, junk food, but it tastes good and it's quick. Or delayed gratification. Stuff that might not taste good, but it's going to make you feel better or great for days or weeks at a time. I've had to
or
offer
fast
I've offered my tea to
stuff like.
people that I got that instantly, as soon as it hits your body, it charges your cells up. They start racing through your body, healing everything. And like you instantly almost feel high off of it, but it's a good high. It's a high you never felt before because you've never had your cells charged before properly since you were a baby. I mean, the human body is like a battery, okay? Best you can explain it. We're like a cell phone. It's the way you can compare it to anybody, okay? When you first get it, that battery's fucking charged, right? Works
Yeah.
good. But eventually, a year or two later down the road, that charger starts wearing out. Maybe get a little dirt in there, or you put the wrong charge. Well, actually, that's exactly what it is. We're a cell phone born without a charger. So we go through life trying to find these old chargers from our old phones, plugging us in. And they'll charge it real slow, but it'll get overheated and hot, and it ain't working. That's how life is. Okay, we're putting all this junk food in us, and it's my face feel better for a few minutes, but it's just dragging us down. Really, it's like putting a virus in us. Okay, I found the proper charger for the human body to charge it back up to 100% real fast and to make it work good. So, and another thing is they give us that fluoride to our cell phone. Our pineal gland is connect our antenna to God. That's our antenna to the Most High. Well, that's what them vaccines and all that fluoride crap does. Calcify it up, keep you connected to God, your spirit side. Well, I found a way to, once you charge that battery up, you put the proper things in your body, it'll clear that antenna open and you'll gain a very good connection with our creator again. And that's what life's about, is to put people back. I know a pyramid scheme thing I kind of drew up one time is we're born here at the top in heaven. We're born right here. We're close to God still. Okay. And then they hit us with them vaccines and we drop down here. to below the bottom of the pyramid down into living hell pretty much. Or we got our gatekeepers, these secret society. They want to keep you down there so they can get rich off your sickness, you know. And I found a way. I navigated through that crap. And then you got the gatekeepers. That's the MK Ultra and all that crap I went through. That's to keep me down there. They knew my calling. They knew what I brought to the table to bring the life back into the people to help heal you and everybody else. And that's why they targeted me. One reason I believe really bad, because they were going to lose control. You know, you heal the people, they have no control over you anymore. They keep you weak and sick. You're not going to fight back. So, you know, once you heal, you go back up that ladder, back up the other side of the pyramid, back closer to heaven and God. Yeah, I look at the cross. Here's your cross. And they call this hell or evil or demons. Really, that's low hell. And then when you get your health back up here, you're ascending back up to God, you know, where Jesus is. You know, where the cross where they hung, you know, the higher the level. I use it as a health meter, you know. So when you're in a living hell when you're down here. You know, the people upside down cross, you're in a living hell down here, okay? Literally. Demons, you're probably full of parasite, nanotechnology. When you flush all that crap out of your system and you heal your body properly, you ascend back up to the top and you become as close as you can be to the creator when you're on this planet. And that's where I believe I am. And I've lived, especially since 2023. You know, I've
That's
always
good.
been close to God. I've always had a real good relationship with the creator, but like now I'm a walking resemblance. I'm literally, I'm not trying to say I'm better than anybody or anything like that, but I'm a walking resemblance of our creator. I show love to everybody, man. Like my life is unconditional love. And I walk into a room instantly. My vibration, my energy I carry, people literally get high just from being around me now. And I can do this for anybody. I can, you know, you will have a few haters here and there. But that's how we're supposed to be. This is what Jesus talked about. You know, we are love. God is love. I am love. Jesus is love.
Yeah.
God is love. What they meant is there's a frequency you get on. And when you get on that frequency, you're walking unconditional love. And then falls in the part of love thy neighbor as thyself. But when you
Yeah.
love yourself as much as I do, you're going to do nothing but show the proper love to your neighbor. So,
Yeah.
you know, the Bible all adds up, equals back to your health. And the reason why I created Supreme Health is the most important thing in the world to me, because it's your path back to God. When you heal your body, all this crap, you can't do nothing but love life and everybody you run into.
Yeah.
And what is God? God is love. What is Jesus? Jesus is love. They're on that frequency. And when you get on that frequency, you're riding with them. You might not be able to see them, but they're right there with you all the time, every day. Now, people like the Bible and the churches, they really need to go back and I'm really irritated about a lot of this now, especially that all this truths are coming out now. They need to go back and correct all the lies, and they're misleading people big time. They need to get the Bibles before they were corrupted, from before those satanic powers that be got a hold of them in the early 1900s, and even before the 1600s, before King James got a hold of it and altered a lot of the documents in it. What is our true enemy? It says in the Bible before King James changed it, because he was pretty much a government official, leader, whatever, was the evil governments of the world instead of whatever it says. I forgot what it says in the Bible, but the real enemy is the evil governments of the world, and that was changed in the 1600s, I believe. So, and now we're aware that a lot of the books were taken out of the Bible. We don't need to be teaching. They need to correct that crap before they're misleading people anymore. You know, because all the books taken out that led back and talked about our spiritual side. You know, direct channels from God. People, there's a lot of them, especially now coming out. It's just they need to quit misleading people. And the Bible, the churches are cop out. Oh, I'm sick. It's just like a rehab. The way I look at it is, they tell you how to cope with your problems, not to fix your problems. Let's put it all in Jesus' hands. Let me tell you right now, I guarantee you one thing. God and Jesus, they can heal you just like that. But if you go back to your old ways, if you don't change your ways, you're going to be sick again. You're going to have cancer again. You're going to be right back where you started. That's faith
Gotta renew the mind. Yeah.
works. They leave the works part out of that in churches. They just do the faith part. And they continue to pour poison in, I don't know. I'm glad I have a better understanding of all this now because I'm going to be able to help them change a lot of lives. You know, um, and that's the whole key, man, is bring everybody back closer to God, create harmony on this earth, create heaven on this earth. And that's what I'm
Yes,
doing. That's
sir.
what I'm going to do.
Yes, sir. I agree, man. I agree. We gonna get into the lightning round. Um,
Right.
fast
If I
fast
talk
hitting questions.
if I talk too much, man, let me know. I hope I'm giving you some good gold nuggets here, Bo.
Nah, you definitely dropping some gems on here, man. Definitely dropping some gems. But we will get to the lightning round questions, man. Um, a book that changed your life.
Books changed my life. I've read a lot, dude. I've read over 1,000 books, probably. It's gonna take a minute. That was a good one right there. I know. I've read so many books. Thank you. I was gonna say, and I'd say the Bible, man. There's some few verses out of the Bible that changed my life. Isaiah. I like John 3:17. Where he said, not not to harm the world, but so the world should be saved through him. And it kind of goes back into my life. People act like I'm here to harm them. People like I'm here to cause problems, but really, I'm here to make a way, man. But all I've ever wanted was the best for everybody. Like hands down, that's all I've ever wanted was the best for everybody. I actually have a hard
Yeah,
time understanding why they hated me so much. But God says they will hate you like they hated
yeah.
my
We live in
son,
a
or
fallen world, man. We live
will
in a
hate you
fallen
like they
world,
hated
brother.
Jesus, and they have
Yeah,
hated me like they hated Jesus. And was it Isaiah 56 or something like that? Truth and hope. I can't remember the verse right now, man. I kind of was mentally off somewhere else when this question came up.
yeah.
Yeah, I was
That's
back
all.
on
That's
that
all.
right now. I did like the book.
You said John 3:17 and
Yeah,
Isaiah 56.
that's my favorite
Okay.
verse in the Bible right there. He didn't send his son to condemn the world. He sent his son so they may be saved through him. We go on to the next question.
What's a daily non-negotiable? Something you got to do every day.
Man, that's my morning routine. If I don't do my morning routine, put the proper things in my body, get the proper things out of my body, my day will be not as good as it should be. Um, like my morning routine is gold. It is gold. It is gold. Um, I would suggest any and everybody get on my morning routine. uh, it makes your day amazing. A little bit of fruit, a couple glasses of my hot tea, a little bit of supplements, a couple supplements, a little bit of exercise, and you stay on that high all day, all day.
Yeah.
It's out of this world.
Okay. All right. Next question. Lie you had to unlearn.
Oh boy, everything, everything. I had to learn what was good for me, health wise.
Yeah.
Had the brainwashing is the hardest part, man. And we are brainwashed since birth. Our parents were brainwashed since birth. Our grandparents were brainwashed since birth. And
It's
that's
just
hard because
going on generation.
accepting the fact that we've been poisoned and brainwashed since birth was the hardest thing on my journey. I pretty much stayed in my bed for 3 weeks. Didn't work. Then I think I lost a vehicle because I had to accept the fact that these people wouldn't have done all this evil stuff to me if they hadn't been poisoned and brainwashed since birth. The church is the brainwashing of the church. You're going to think like us or you're evil. It's one of the worst brainwashes in our world. the church misleads people. The old buildings, I believe, in the old world, we're not to go up there and worship God. Our temple is right here. This is where we connect with our Creator. Our Creator is in our consciousness right here. The old temples were meant for healing centers. So they got they brought energy in and out of the skies and stuff, I believe. The bells and stuff. I believe the old churches were actually healing centers, not meant to go worship God. I think Jesus said somewhere like, "Don't worship me, be like me." And I started being like God or Jesus when I was about 18, 19 years old. I know I'm not saying I didn't misstep a lot along the way, but I started treating people like he did, with love and kindness. But I didn't love myself then. I didn't have boundaries. Another one right there. Boundaries. Hey, boundaries is a very, very, that needs to be talked about and explained too. Do you know anything about boundaries?
Yeah, I know something about boundaries. I keep them.
Boundaries
I
are
keep
tough,
them,
brother.
man. I got to.
Boundaries
I
are
got
tough,
to
man.
keep
They're
them,
like
man. You gotta set boundaries in order to protect your peace, protect your own
protect
self.
your energy.
'Cause-
And if you
yeah,
go
because
somewhere,
the world is gonna drain you.
yep, if you go somewhere and you're like, all of a sudden you're feeling tired really fast, get out of there. It's not good for you. Your body, once you get to know yourself and your body and you go places, you can tell when you need to get away from there or people or whoever. Like, I, I'm better. I'm like built myself up so much now that my boundary is me. I am my boundary now. Um, nothing, nothing can really affect me hardly at all anymore, ever. But before I needed, like, I had to learn boundaries big time. But people don't tell you what that is or how to do it. That's something that should be taught in school. Boundaries should be taught in school. Self-love should be taught in school. What was the other one earlier we were talking about? There was one more. Pouring into yourself, Uh, I have no doubt in my mind if you start training people and kids at a young age to my healing technique, that it will change the world in no time. The the adults, a lot of men, I feel bad for some of them because I've been through a lot, man. I've experienced had to accept, and learn, and relearn things over and over. I kind of feel bad for the older people, man, that because I can imagine how hard it would be for them to accept it, that they've been lied to and brainwashed their whole lives. Can you imagine how hard that would be to accept it? The whole life. I was angry, man. When I had to, I was mad. I wanted to be mad at the people that abused me and treated me like crap my whole life, but then I couldn't. I wanted to be angry, but I knew who I was mad at. The people would be, man, the idiots that had been poisoning us our whole lives and brainwashing us, but that
Yeah.
still don't give people excuse to mistreat you and treat you bad.
Yes, sir.
Poison or not, love yourself. If somebody's not treating you right, cut them off until if they want to get right, be right in your life again, they will get themselves right.
Yeah. No, I got that. Got you.
Anyway,
What's what's your current season teaching you?
what did my current season teach me? To slow down and have patience. Um, I'm always on a go, 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 go because I feel better when I have money coming in and stuff. But my current season is teaching me to enjoy what I have when I have it and take my downtime as a time to pour into myself and my business. I haven't
That's
my way is
I'm in a similar season myself with that one, man.
yeah,
Patience.
my way is not his way. I want to do things the way which I know my way would work too, but apparently he don't
Yeah.
want it that way, because I know if I could get a little wad of money up real quick, make 2, 3 jobs in a row, that I could like
Yeah.
comfortably pour into myself. But he's teaching me to trust in him, trust in his timing. He will provide. He's really taught me this lesson hard. I've been hard headed about it for a long time. He's taught me this lesson hard. Trust in him. He will provide when I need it. So right as I'm about to run out of money every time, provide another job right then and there. Every time. It never fails. Week after week after week. He'll give me what he wants me to stop, slow down, focus on my future and what's important in life, his purpose for me. So I have to slow down. Slow down. I'm like, gosh, give me like 2, 3 jobs in a row real quick. I can wad that money up my pocket. Then I can go chill somewhere. He lets me get one job, and then he makes me sit there for a couple days afterwards or whatever, and to handle my purpose for him for my life. He wants me to focus on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I could feel
Hey,
that.
let me give some advice to everybody out there. Look back at your life, and every time you thought, freaked out about, oh no, I'm about to lose this or that, or everything in life's about to lose. How many times have you actually done that? Or how many times did a solution come right at the last minute? Think about it. Because yeah, I know you've experienced this too, probably hundreds of times.
No.
Something bad,
Right.
really bad comes up, and you're like, oh no, 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 and freak out. Then right at the last minute, a solution. Boom. They thank you. They thank you. And realize that and store that in your brain. So the next time that situation occurs, just, I know you got me.
That's how that's
And
how that's how God gets his glory, within
yes,
that last
indeed.
hour, he comes through for you. That's how he gets his glory. So
Yes, indeed. Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me on here today.
yeah. I got one more lightning round question. The last time you cried and why?
Last time I cried,
Yeah. And why?
my last tears have always been tears of gratitude and joy, man. A couple days ago, I just like these these knowings just come into me. These knowings that I'm about to have the life I desire. Like occasionally they just come into me, and I'll get a couple messages, 2, 3 messages on TikTok or something to confirm it. Like it's back to back to back. My whole life, let me tell you, my whole life is a synchronicity. Everything now, like once you heal where I'm at, everything in your life, you start thinking it and it appears. Like, never seen a car parts store in a Planet Fitness parking lot and a Total Wireless store. 3 stores that I needed. Okay. Now I get to this, like, I start thinking, that'd be cool if I do need to get a part from a van, and I need to go to Total Wireless and I need to work out stuff. Pull up 30 minutes later, I pull up in this Planet Fitness and got Total Wireless, car parts store, everything all right next to each other.
Everything you need.
Like
Yeah.
literally, when you get healed to this point, this frequency, everything in your life turns into it. It was a little freaky at first, man. Like, because you don't know nothing about this growing up. But every once in a while you see deja vu or synchronized something, like our life is really it's almost like a video game. God's up there with control. And you're walking around, whatever you're seeing, you're creating, whatever you're thinking, you're creating. I want to touch on one last thing, man, before this world we live in. The power of the tongue is very, very important. What you speak. Okay, look, here's where supreme health comes in. How you feel equals how you think. See, they've taught us our whole life, it's not okay to feel good. You don't want to feel good. You know what I mean? Like, as far as, I don't know, I've just kind of got that feeling out of life growing up. You know, almost like feeling good's not good. Okay. They want you to be controlled and weak and down, but how you feel equals how you think. How you think equals how you speak. How you speak equals your life. What you create. Power of the tongue creates your life. This is the reason why supreme health and where your health is so important in this life. Because if you feel great, you're going to think great, and you're going to speak great, and you're going to have a great life. That's
Agreed. Agreed.
yes. Speak
Man, I
positive on
appreciate that, man.
yourself and others, brother. Always speak positive on yourself and others. Hey, even if they're not, your speaking is a direct reflection of how yourself and how you feel about yourself. So if you're speaking bad about others, it's just what you're creating in your own life. Identical. I don't care. Speak good to others. You speak good to yourself and others, you're going to create that in your life. You speak bad to others and yourself, it's exactly the life you'll create for yourself. So it's very important for people to learn that.
Jason, I appreciate it, man. It's a lot of gems you drop. Your story is very powerful, impactful. I hope the people could get something from it. That no matter where you at on the journey, whatever you go through, you could always turn it around. I believe in that
Right.
wholeheartedly. So,
Hey,
I appreciate it, man.
I was at the lowest of lows, brother. Lowest lows, not all by some by my causing, because I was angry at God, man, for having my kids were my everything. I cook, clean, brush your teeth, bathe them, any and everything could do that. They were my world, man. They are my world still. And when you get that ripped away from you, some of it was my fault, but some of it was somebody wanting to get child support. It was more important. I accept everything I do wrong. I accept it. But when you get that ripped away from you, man, I didn't. It tears your heart up, brother. Like I can imagine a lot of dads out there right now. And, we all make mistakes, but probably didn't deserve to have their kids taken from them. Especially like I'm not going to go into the judicial system, how corrupt that is right now. But there were judges, cops, lawyers, all involved in when they came after me. Yeah, and I did that. That's the utmost corruption you can imagine. People that are supposed to have integrity and are supposed to give people good advice and lead people the right way, going along with the dirtbag play that they did to have my kids taken from me, and all kinds of other crap they did, over money. I'm 95% sure, 99% sure. Anyway, let's get out of it. God bless you. Thank you so much,
Appreciate it.
man. You're an amazing
I
human
appreciate
being. Hey, you're an amazing human being, man. You keep it up. You hear me?
it. Yeah,
Keep
I
spreading the
appreciate it,
love,
man.
spread the joy, speak life and positivity to your children, to yourself, everybody you come across. They don't like it, that's their problem, not yours. All right?
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man. You mind closing us out in a prayer?
Yeah. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for this day. Thank you for this life. Thank you for this world. And life is a gift. You gifted us this life, and we're in the process of making this place better for everybody, for our children. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for walking me through the pits of hell, through the valley of the shadow of death and help and walking me out of there. And thank you for allowing me to be your voice and to work for you on this planet. And thank you for Frankie. Thank you for all the people out there that are pushing love and light and helping wake people up to reality and bring people back closer to you, because that's the whole purpose of life, God, is to be living on this planet and being as close to you at the same time as possible. Forgive us for our sins. Forgive us to the wrong we've done, and help us learn from our mistakes and become better people, God. Thank you. Amen.
Listen, you don't always need answers. Sometimes you just need to be held up in prayer. This is a space for people who are doing the best even when it feels unseen. For the ones who are tired, hopeful, uncertain, faithful, and human, all at the same time. We come together simply to pray and encourage one another. No fixing, no spotlight, no pressure to explain your story. Just a quiet reminder that you are seen, heard, and not forgotten by. If life feels heavier than usual, you don't have to walk through it by yourself. You're welcome to join our prayer group. Just comment prayer, send a DM, or use the link provided when you're ready. Peace.
Yes, 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 man. Amen. Jason, appreciate it, man. Tell the people where to find you, brother.
Jason Weatherford on Facebook, jdweatherford.com, Instagram, TikTok. You guys come find me there.
Keep being your best self, man.
That's it.
Keep being your best self. The world needs it, man. Keep spreading that love.
All right, brother. Like I
And
said,
this is
Jake,
another episode.
go ahead.
Follow my guy here at jdweatherford.com. Tap in with him. He got some good stuff coming up, man. Yeah. Peace, love.
Listen, you don't always need answers. Sometimes you just need to be held up in prayer. This is a space for people who are doing the best even when it feels unseen. For the ones who are tired, hopeful, uncertain, faithful, and human, all at the same time. We come together simply to pray and encourage one another. No fixing, no spotlight, no pressure to explain your story. Just a quiet reminder that you are seen, heard, and not forgotten by. If life feels heavier than usual, you don't have to walk through it by yourself. You're welcome to join our prayer group. Just comment prayer, send a DM, or use the link provided when you're ready. Peace.
Thank you for watching the Words of Encouragement podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and YouTube.